So, moving on. Peter is the CEO of the firm Grant Thornton, a global accounting organization which has around 50,000 people in over 130 countries. Peter works at Grant Thornton since 2003, and since 2018 he became the chair of Impact 2030, a private sector coalition which aims to direct the collective skills, experience and passion of corporate volunteers to help the United Nations achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and the 2030 Agenda. Peter, welcome to the S2B Impact Forum 2020. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
So Peter,
nice to be
tell
here.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Peter, tell us, when did Grant Thornton decide to incorporate sustainability into its overall strategy?
You know, 2 years ago I became the global CEO of the Grant Thornton International Network, and sustainability in Grant Thornton had developed over time, and it's always have been really important for a professional service firm to be sustainable. To think about what kind of clients are we working for, what kind of services are we providing for our clients, and how do we care for our people? How do we develop our people? A culture is a part of that, you know, how to build a sustainable culture in an organization. And thirdly, the role we play in the community and in the society with all the stakeholders that we every day is engaging with. And a couple of years ago, the firms really started to embed sustainability into their strategy. So we saw that coming from all over the world into the plans of the firms. The clients also start to ask us for support and helping out. How can they change their business to be more sustainable? So it came from that, but also from our people. You know, people have a strong passion for sustainability and a strong demand for what role are we going to play as an organization to make that difference in the society. So we decided to just put this sustainability into the two large conference that we have with leaders from all over the world, both 2018 and 19 actually, and really develop that as a part of the core strategy of the Grant Thornton network.
Both pressure in a way or motivations from the market and the internal talent. And when you're helping all these different firms with their sustainability strategies and effort, what are the differences that you see in the way they are trying to incorporate sustainability and impact? How is the private sector approaching this?
I see you know, two ways. And of course, sustainability is the biggest external force for business today, and it's coming up. You know, I have the privilege to before the pandemic to travel around the world, and I've been to like 60-70 countries in the world, and sustainability comes up everywhere. Everyone wants to talk about that. That is different, but it's of course because the world is facing such a huge challenges. And the private sector is expected, and I think has a responsibility to provide solutions and leadership in this situation. And no, it's not about just doing good anymore. It's about being competitive and take advantage of the opportunities out there, to the role you play with all your stakeholders. And what I see successful businesses are doing today, they not just talk about this, or they just really define what sustainability means for their business. And really build their strategy around that and align almost everything in their organization around what that definition of sustainability in their organizations. And it's of course completely different if you're running a professional service firm as I do, or if you have a manufacturing companies that have operations all over the world. It's a completely different way to define that. But I think as a successful organization, you do that. On the other hand, I also see a lot of, I would say, people out there that have not really understood how to do this. And they are really, it's still a lot of resistance. But I think if you just look at how the pandemic have helped out here, because it have been really clear that companies that have not been sustainable in their delivering model have been really struggling in the crisis. So hopefully this last half year really have been helpful really to put what does it mean to be sustainable in your organization on the agenda.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And so not only with your work at Grant Thornton, but you're also leading the board of directors of this initiative, Impact 2030. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What are you doing there and how are you trying to contribute to the Agenda 2030?
Yeah. So that organization was funded by a couple of individuals that really wanted to put the employee engagement in the private sector and really put that energy from the employees into how they can support and develop the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So that was really the start of that. And be part of that have given me and Grant Thornton a fantastic opportunity over the years now to really like a platform to engage with different stakeholders in this area, from politicians around the world to people in the United Nations, the corporate sector, from large global companies to smaller mid-sized businesses that share this passion, and it have given us I think an opportunity to influence on the business side and lead and have conversations around what sustainability means for the business side. I have had the privilege all over the world to be a part of speaking events like this and other things, and just having that platform in the background to work with that have been enormously helpful. And of course, I as a leading an organization with 53,000 people around the world, if we can influence them to have conversations with the business sector, because we are meeting, I don't know how many companies around the world, but our people every day are working with business leaders, and if they can influence them a little bit of what sustainability means in their businesses, I hope that we're making quite a lot of impact in the society.
Mm-hmm. So one last question. You were mentioning before the risk of greenwashing in a way, right? And that everybody's talking about it, but you also have to walk the talk. And in that sense, we have seen the emergence of promising impact measurement and impact management devices lately. And this is really important. So how are you working with that? How are you framing practices to underpin impact performance that would contribute to Sustainable Development Goals at Grant Thornton?
Yeah, and as you say, it's a lot of initiatives that are out there, and I think it's coming in so many different ways. I can't really keep track on how much that is going on, but I think this development is really positive. But it needs some kind of standardization and to go in some direction. We see trends of that is happening. It's at the same time as we see that we talk about that huge demand from our clients or companies around the world that this is important. That means that we as an organization started developing services to help and support clients and companies in this direction. And we, in a lot of ways, actively engage as an organization in different forums or in different groups to, try to standardize these kind of measurements. It's not easy, but I think it's going in the right direction. Other things that needs to also be standardized is the accounting principles around this and how you do this and in different ways. So I think as we're trying to do our part in this, I think every business today really can play a really important part of this going forward.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for being here and for the work you're doing. And it was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks.
It's the same. And good luck with the conference. Bye.
Thank you.